What's going on with the rat tail, honey? Well, can I cut it? You said you're single, correct? Now, I say this with love, honey. This isn't doing you any favors. I won't even charge you. This is an act of charity. This is me giving back to the community. Steph, honey, Diet Coke. Oh, no, honey, I don't split the check on a date. If we're splitting the check, that means we're friends. So if you want to go halvesies, just know that you have just asserted the relationship status. Honey, baby, sweetie, did you bring in a picture? Great, give it to me. Are you entering a Three Stooges lookalike contest? I would say the answer is no. And just to clarify, it is absolutely not. Hold your breath. Trust me, you don't want this stuff getting on your lung hairs. You know what time it is, Ritzy Schmitzy, honey. This is the real love potion number 9. Okay, honey, we're just gonna do a tiny bit of mousse. Steph, I need some more mousse. Honey, baby, sweetie, pudding pie, lollipop, and gumdrop. I'm gonna pump up your chair.
So I recently got a massage. It was good, and it was at a very fancy spa. So it was not worth what I paid for it. I feel like the questionnaire they give you doesn't really set you up for success. So I've rewritten it how I think it should be. First up, places to avoid. I don't know where you're planning on going to tell you yay or nay. And I also don't want to be presumptuous. So I've just made it clear for you. These are out of the question. Don't even worry about it. Off the table. Pressure level. They typically will ask you medium, medium hard. I don't know. I'm not a steak. I need clearer levels. 1, gently massaging out pizza crust. It's like a baby deer is learning to walk on your back. Nice and soft. 5, like you're really trying to get that last bit of toothpaste. You have me wondering if you're kind of mad at me at a 5. And 10, fuck me up. I want to hear the joints in your fingers cracking. You're pushing so hard. I want to be sore tomorrow, and I want you to need a massage after giving me a massage. Talkie, no talkie. Pretty straightforward. Music preference. Sleepy time. I'm here to relax. Knock me out. Nature music. Maybe it'll trick my seasonal depression that I'm outside for an hour, but no stream sounds because it makes me have to pee. And death metal. Mama paid a lot of money for this. I want to be present for each and every second. Keep me up. If you would like this form for your establishment, please DM me and I'll send you a PDF.
All the anxious ones think like this.
You brought a picture. Great, give it to me. Steph, if you're going out, Diet Coke. No. Steph, very little condition on the end. Steph, off the phone, can I get some sweeping? Steph, no Roberta Jones today, tell her I'm booked. Honey, I'm gonna pump up your chair. I got pulled over the other day. The officer comes to the window. He says, do you know how fast you were going? I says, as a matter of fact, officer, I do. I was going 2 miles over the speed limit. So I says, either you have a quota to fill for the month or you wanted to get a closer look. He said, well, actually, I clocked you going 10 over the speed limit, but I did want to get a better look too. Then he says, what year's the Thunderbird? I said, you can write me the ticket. Thank you, officer.
We're always looking for new playgrounds to take our kids to. And I had this realization the other day, how ridiculously different they are than from when we were kids. And like, there are trampoline parks now. Our trampoline experience was a skin-breaking pinch from a giant spring, or if it wasn't you, you know someone who broke their leg on a trampoline. Half of the playgrounds I take my kids to have zip lines, ropes courses, cushioned rubber ground to land on. You know what we landed on? Concrete, raw dog Mother Earth, dusty pebble rocks, if you were lucky. I got 3rd-degree burns from the metal slides that I went down in elementary school at 100-degree Texas. Oh, and all the splash pads. Oh my gosh. We got a water hose plugged into a grass waterer in the arcade, rock climbing, laser tag, bowling facilities. We had Chuck E. Cheese, crappy pizza to burn the roof of your mouth, and a weird animatronic rat that traumatized us all for the rest of our lives. Follow me for more mom rants.
just got back from the beauty salon, Hot Looks. I always go there, I get my perm, I get my nails done, and I've been going to the same gal for years. Her name's Donna, and she's just a one-stop shop. And Donna's good at trying to squeeze a couple extra bucks out of you, okay? Now, she talked me into these polka dot glue-on nails that I didn't really want. But the one thing that I don't really care for is months ago I quit my job because my boss was just drinking too many Irish coffees on the job. He didn't know what the heck was going on, and it was creating more work for me. And I said, you know what, Deb, you love music. You've always loved music. You should get a job doing something in music. Now, there's not a lot going on in this little rink-a-dink town, but I did get a job working at a record store. So I'm working for this lady, Trish, who's the owner. The record store is called Wild Out Records. And the lady's kind of nuts. She's always doing these interpretive dances and stuff in the middle of the workday. And sometimes, I don't know where to look. But she's got a real positive attitude, and I like that about her. But she gets real, into the music that she puts on, and some of it is world stuff, from countries I've never even heard of. Put on the friggin' Cure, the Smiths, or something. What the heck is this? So the other day, she comes dancing out of the office to this wild song, and she starts cartwheeling around the store, and she takes out a whole display. Anyhow, she was so embarrassed, she got up, and I didn't know what to say to her, and I did the only thing I could think of. I started doing an interpretive dance too. And then there's the two of us dancing around, records all over the floor. We don't got any customers, thank goodness for that. So I'm employed again.
Parenting tip. Separate your candy from the good flavors and the bad flavors. Give your kids the bad flavors. You get all the good ones, and they're just happy to get candy. Follow me for more parenting tips. Hey Target, we need to talk. I was recently in one of your fine establishments and strolling through the clothing departments. They were a little questionable, but I would like to show you the ways in which you styled them to maybe revisit. Okay, here we have a cargo green side ruched midi parachute skirt paired with just the juvenilest of juvenile shirts. I would wear one of these when I was 5. And we look like a curtain. If you're thinking, oh, you've already shown us these, it's jean cargo pants. No, it's also a tube top. Do I want to wear a pair of wide leg cargo jeans? Yes. Do I also want to wear a tube top? Yes. Do I want it to be denim on denim? Yes. Do I want it to be connected and have to get completely fully naked to use the restroom? Also yes. And lucky for you, it comes in 2 other colors. They said it's good, but what if we acid washed it and made it kind of purpley? This one is giving I'm here to paint your house, but make it sexy. If you are my age, you remember the days whenever we used to dress like we were paralegals to go to the club. I'm concerned that those days are coming back with corporate club attire. I will say, while we were doing bows up here, their tops feel much more modern and elevated. However, if your girls are girthy, these are stretchy. So it's just gonna be a booby bungee jump. Drop It Low has a new meeting in this top. So wouldn't advise if you breastfed. The fashion trend where you're not sure is that a top or a skirt is back. At my life stage, I don't think that I could put this amount of trust in a single strip of fabric. It's a lot of clavicle. And I'm gonna pair it with a jacket. I had this exact jacket in college. If anybody needs something carried, I'm your girl. The asymmetry of the pockets is a little bit of a choice, but honestly, my boobs are different sizes, so it's either mocking me or it's validating. I totally forgot to put this belt on with the cargo jeans, but if you were wanting to relive your emo days, no, you can. Okay, now this outfit, I feel like it's just got Mary-Kate and Ashley written all over it. But what's so interesting, they're just putting cargo pockets on everything. Everything's cargo right now. Cargo for it. Target's also selling camisoles with lace around the neckline. They are making them shorter, which I think is smart because I feel like all of our camisoles that we wore literally went down to our knees, which I think was kind of the point back then. The whole is it a shirt, is it a dress thing? I don't know, I'm just gonna throw some jeans on underneath it. I know we've talked here about Target's push for denim on denim, and they really are doubling down with their Jill Taylor from Home Improvement collection. They also have the jacket from 2012. Some of you this may have never left, and that's okay. I'm just saying, Target has a warehouse where they just keep old clothes that don't sell and bring it back out onto the floor 10 to 12 years later for me to make videos about.
Oh, I love this song. Hamburg,
I'm yours, but I'm mine. I'm short, but I'm healthy, yeah. I'm tight, but I'm grounded. I'm brave, but I'm overwhelmed. I'm brave, but I'm hopeful, baby. When it all comes down to you. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Staff, call Roberta Jones and let her know that her check from yesterday bounced. No more appointments for her unless she pays cash. Hi, Rainbow. You can go to the sink, okay? I am going to have to ask you to put your shoes back on, okay? Thank you. I think we should do a body wave. I think it's going to help with the thinning. We'll do some layers around the face. It's going to be gorgeous. Want me to wax you? I said, why don't you take a picture? It'll last longer. She's got another thing coming if she thinks I'm going to apologize. I said I'll do what I can, but in the words of Bon Jovi, we're living on a prayer, honey. I'm going to put your chair up, hon. I said, honey, here's a quarter. Why don't you go call someone who cares? Steph, tuna on a bagel and a Diet Coke. Don't worry, I brought my toothbrush. This came out so good. I swear, honey, you're a dead ringer for Farrah Fawcett. 2 nights ago, my friend Brenda calls me on the phone. She says, I want you to come over. There's something I want to talk to you about, but I don't want to do it on the phone. I want to do it in person. And right away, my gut, I just knew. I knew what she was going to ask me about. So I said, Brenda, I'm just fixing some Lipton's iced tea. I'll throw on some clothes and I'll come over. So I go over, I sit down, and right away, she says, there's something I want to ask you about. And I said, look, I think I know what it is. And before you say anything, I want to tell you that this isn't easy for me. You know, you're like a sister. I've known you since we were 9. And I just said, I hope it doesn't hurt the relationship. I said, Brenda, I don't want to sell Avon Beauty products with you. This morning, I met my best friend Deborah over at the International House of Pancakes. And we both ordered the new thing on the menu, which is the Rooty Tooty Fresh and Fruity everyone's been talking about. And our waitress Claire comes with our Rooty Tooty Fresh and Fruities. She puts them down in front of us. And I said, I need to speak to your manager. I need to speak to her right away. And a lady by the name of Patsy comes over and she says, what can I do for you? I said, well, first of all, I need to tell you that I've been coming in here for years. I said, I'm a long-time customer. I said, we haven't formally met, but I know you just started about a month ago. And I need to tell you something, okay? I said, in all the time that I've been coming here, I said, I have never seen pancakes that fluffy. I said, and another thing. I said, that menu says the Rooty Tooty Fresh and Fruity comes with 2 pancakes. I said, how many do you see, Patsy? She says, I see 3 on the plate. I said, and that is good customer service. I mean, we can do the Princess Diana cut, but I think you're going to end up looking more like Queen Bee Arthur. Staff, no more personal calls. Did you call everybody to confirm for tomorrow? Hun, that's a big knot. I think I'm going to have to take my scissors to it. You used Sunnin. Yeah. Steph, 2 shampoos and a condish, but only on the end. I'm going to pump up your chair, okay, hon? Steph, hon, can you give me a Diet Coke? Thanks. I was at this dealership over the weekend looking to get a car, and I was talking to this salesman. And he tells me the price of the car. He says, this is the best we can do. OTD, out the door. And I said, and that's exactly where I'm going. Out the door, OTD. And I got up and I walked towards the door and the guy came running. So I got me a new Thunderbird. She's out in the parking lot if you want to go see her. You want to wax the stash? It's thick. It's thick. I wouldn't lie to you.
Do I believe in ghosts, goblins, and ghouls? I don't know, but I sure as heck love to hear the stories. One of my favorites is a local legend about a man who lives in the woods who's half man and half lion. Now, this story dates back to the late 19th century, and it takes place in what is now our local cemetery. At that time, it was a farm owned by the Moore family, and they were very, very wealthy. They sold the best cheese in town. Now, they had a son. His name was Sweeney William Moore, and he was kind of running things, taking over for his pa. Well, Sweeney falls in love with one of the farmhands, a young gal by the name of Rose Marie. Well, the Moore family said absolutely not. There's no way our son's marrying a farm girl. And he said, well, damn it to hell, I'm doing what I want and I don't care what you say. And they said, fine, well, the both of you can get out. So Sweeney William Moore and this gal Rose Marie, they go into the woods looking for shelter, and they come upon this old dilapidated shack, and they knock on the door, and to their surprise, this guy answers, and he's wearing all this velvet fabulous clothing and jewelry, and they peek inside and they can see that the interior of this shack is quite extravagant. The guy who answers the door and owns the shack turns out to be none other than Raymond St. James, the town's recluse, who hasn't been seen in about 15 years. So Sweeney William Moore and Rose Marie ask this guy Raymond, hey, can we stay the night? We've got no place to go. And he says, yeah, sure, come on in. I hope you don't mind though, I've got a lot of cats. And they were like, oh my gosh, of course, no, thank you for letting us stay. We love animals. And they go inside and the place is just gorgeous. Decked out with beautiful drapery, ornate candlesticks everywhere, but it stunk. It stunk so bad, and they counted 37 cats. So Sweeney William Moore whispered to his gal Rose Marie, I don't think it's gonna be safe in here with this stench. I think we're better sleeping out in the cold. And she kind of gave him like a, yeah, I agree. So they made up some story about how they forgot something and that they had to go. Well, Raymond was like, you can't go before you see the show. And they're like, okay, what kind of show? He's like, well, I do a theater performance with my cats. And they were like, you know, I think we're good, but thank you so much. Maybe we ought to take a rain check. We'll definitely take a rain check. Well, Raymond flipped his lid and he said, you are so disrespectful. I invite you into my home out of the cold, and this is how you repay me. And then he gets out this wand and he's like, guess what? I'm a sorcerer, that's right. I know magic, and I'm gonna put a curse on you, that on your wedding night, you, Mr. Sweeney William Moore, you're gonna turn into a cat for all of eternity. And Rose Marie and Sweeney William look at each other like, we ought to get out of here. This guy's having an episode. And the cats are going wild, and this guy's waving around his wand, and they hit the door running. They run back to Sweeney's family's farm and they end up just sleeping in the barn. The next morning, they head into town so that Sweeney could look for some work. He gets a job, Rose Marie gets a job, they put together some money and they get themselves a little place. Their life was simple, but it was beautiful. They worked hard in the day, and at night they'd come home to each other and share a meal, read by the fireplace by candlelight. One day, Sweeney William and Rose Marie were picking wild strawberries. And Sweeney looked at her and he said, I love you. I love you and I want to spend the rest of my life loving you. Will you marry me? And at first, Rose Marie smiled real big, but then her face quickly turned to one of sadness. And he said, "What's wrong?" And she said, "I would love to marry you." And he said, "Okay, well, what's the problem?" And she said, "Well, I'm just afraid that if we get married, you're going to turn into a cat." He said, "Look, we can't keep living in fear and take the word of some guy living out in a shack with a bunch of cats." He said, "We have to live our lives and follow our hearts." And Rosemarie said, "You know what? You're right. Let's do it." Sweetie William and Rosemarie have a small elopement ceremony in the woods with a couple of their good friends. And that night, their wedding night, just as they were about to get into bed, Sweetie William says, "You know what, hon? I'm not really feeling very good." And then Rosemarie is like, "Can I get you a glass of water?" And he's like, "No, but I think I ought to try to go to the bathroom." So he goes outside to the outhouse, and he's gone a long time. Finally, Rosemarie says, "Enough of this. I'm going to go check on him." So she goes out there, and he's nowhere to be found. And so she's calling his name, and she hears nothing but some loud meows in the distance. And then she knew what must have happened. She couldn't say for sure, but she knew in her heart what was true. Her husband was a cat. What Rosemarie didn't know is that Raymond's spell had backfired, and Sweetie William was not turned into an ordinary house cat. No, he was not. He had been turned into a half man, half lion, and he was out for blood, Raymond's blood. So Sweetie William makes it to Raymond's shack, and he claws the door right down, and Raymond is shivering in the corner with his cats. And he's like, "Oh my God." And Sweetie William is like, "Yeah, that's right. Bet you didn't think you would see me again, did you? Certainly not as a lion." And Raymond starts begging for his life. And Sweetie William is like, "Look, I will spare you if you turn me back into myself." And then Raymond was like, "I don't think I know how to do that." And then Sweetie William was like, "Well, look, unless you want to be minced meat, you better try." So they stay up the night trying herbs and lotions and potions, and nothing is taken. And finally, Raymond is like, "Okay, well, it doesn't look like we can reverse your condition, but there is a way that we can make it so that it's not for eternity, only for 100 years. And Sweetie William said, "You know what? I'll take the deal, but you and your cats, you gotta get out of my shack." Well, Raymond St. James and his cats were never seen or heard from again. And legend has it that Sweetie William is still living out in that shack to this day. Now, what happened to Rosemarie? Well, the legend says one night she was awoken by the cries of a cat. So she went outside to see what was going on, and she found a letter lying on the ground. The letter had a paw print right in the middle, and it read, "My beloved Rosemarie, I will come lie with thee in 100 years. Love, Sweetie William." But that's not all. This story supposedly took place in 1888, making this year the 100th anniversary of Sweetie William getting turned into the Lion Man. Will he be reunited with his beloved Rosemarie? I'd like to think that the answer is yes.
Turn around.
My advice to you, honey, get a very good hat. Thank you for calling Holic Salon. This is Jeff speaking. How can I help you? Buy one you like. Buy one you feel good in. Just give it time. It'll go back. Yeah, sure, I can hold. You call me and then you put me on hold. Wow, that's crazy. She can do the Rod Stewart. Would you like to make an appointment? Okay, your name is Tony, as in Tony the Tiger. Wonderful. We'll see you today at 2 p.m. Tony. Donna's in the back mixing your bleach. I'm just going to put this frost cap on you. It's a frost cap. Is this the first time you're getting frosted? Oh, okay. Well, I'll explain it. So I'm gonna put this on your head. It's basically just like a plastic bonnet, and then Donna is gonna pull strands of hair through it, and then that's what she's gonna bleach. Is it painful? I mean, yeah. Lollipop gumdrop. I'm gonna pump up your chair.
Okay, babe, I think I'm gonna grill some meat for dinner. Could you roast some veggies? Roast some veggies? Okay. Let's ask Instacart. Best veggies to roast. Let's roast. What do corn and quantum physics have in common? They're both impossible to digest. You're just pale broccoli. What do you and my middle school braces have in common? You really know how to ruin a kiss, don't you? What's the difference between broccoli and dog food? My 2-year-old will actually eat dog food. What are you doing? Roast the vegetables. Oh, yeah. That makes more sense. That makes more sense than this. I mean, I did burn them. No? Okay. All right. I'll get started on it. Try Instacart's new AI feature, Ask Instacart, to get your answers delivered in as fast as an hour. Look, I know what I was saying about you guys was mean, but this feels meaner. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I ask you one question. Are you having any fun? What you getting out of living?
Do you toss and turn at night? Did you just break up with your grody boyfriend and you want to know how to get him back? Do your Friday nights sound a little something like this? Hi, Domino's. I'd like to order a large pepperoni pizza. I'll come pick it up because it's my big night out on the town. Hang up the phone and instead pick it back up and call a Lucky Star Psychic Hotline. We will be your lucky stars. Ooh, I see a man in your future. He looks like Burt Reynolds. Hello, I'm Star Madonna, owner and operator of Lucky Star Psychic Hotline. It is my passion to help guide others to reach their dreams. Just like you, I was a sad loser. And then I took a tarot class and now I'm bitchin' and have my own business. So don't be a sad loser. Pick up the phone and call Lucky Star Psychic Hotline and make all your dreams come true. Today. Let us be your lucky star.
Let me see the tips are roll.
I'm on a sweater already. Mom's spaghetti.
And spending most of the night. Not in a contest. The butterfly, that's old.
Welcome to all the new faces and one familiar one. DJ Khaled. Yeah, we know. This feels like a step backwards, but let's start with introductions. And you are? Shonda Paul. Is your middle name? No, Shonder Paul. It's a reference to famous cricketer Shiv Narayan Shonder Paul. People started calling me Shonder Paul because of his fame, and it stuck. I don't think anybody knew that. Thank you for sharing. I'm just now realizing how much it does sound like Sean Paul, though. Sorry about that. You? Mr. 305. But what's your name? Mr. Worldwide. No, your name. It's Pitbull. Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. Who? Okay, yeah, I get it. Well, I'm still Jenny from the block. Who dat? Who dat?
কি লোক রে বাবা হুট করেই বলে বিয়ে করবে কি
এই আপনি তো সুন্দর হ্যাঁ মানে একজন হাজবেন্ডের আমার মনে হয় উচিত যে তার ওয়াইফের কাজগুলো করে দেয়া।
হ্যালো মোকাবর ভাই, টুকু মোবারক ভাই, কি আপনার বিজ্ঞাপনটা দেখছেন? অস্ট্রেলিয়াতে এত সুন্দর শাড়ি পাওয়া যায়। গুড।
লাইক দিল মিস লিলি। অবশ্য লিলি কখন আসবে? মানে আমার কারোর সঙ্গে কোনো সম্পর্ক নাই স্যার। কি কি বলেন এগুলো স্যার? আমি তো জাস্ট
সিঙ্গেল, ডিভোর্স, ডাবল ডিভোর্স, লম্বা, খাটো, পরিষ্কার, কালো, যা চাবেন সব কিছু অ্যাভেলেবেল আমাদের কাছে।
প্রোটিন খুব একটা খাই না, ভেজিটেরিয়ান বলতে পারেন।
তো প্রোটিন খাবে, প্রত্যেক দিন প্রোটিন খাবেন।
আপনি স্মার্ট, আপনি যদি আমাদের সঙ্গে যান তাহলে আমাদের বাড়বে, ক্রেজ।
আমার একমাত্র শেলিকা, বিলিয়নে একটা। আপনি এরকম পুরি আমি গ্যারান্টি দিলাম সারা বাংলাদেশ খুঁজে এরকম একটা পুরি পাবেন না।
স্যার আপনি আমার হাত ছেড়ে না হলে কিন্তু আপনার বিয়ে ভেঙে যাবে স্যার।
ও যা, আমি আসি, অনেক রাত, আসি।
জি।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম। মানে এইগুলো ব্যবহার করে মানুষ আসলে অলস সময় পার করে। আপনি প্লিজ আপনি এটা নিয়ে যান।
আপনি কফি বানিয়েছেন?
হ্যাঁ শুনে আমি খুব ভেবে দেখলাম যে আপনার কথা ঠিক।
ইউ মিন মোবারক?
জি স্যার।
কেন, কি হয়েছে?
স্যার দেখেন, উনি পত্রিকায় বিজ্ঞাপন দিয়ে বেড়াচ্ছে
মানে আমার কাছে কেন চিঠি আসবে? আমি তো জবটা তো আমি করি অনেস্ট।
আমার কাছে মনে হয় আপনার সাথে ওনার খুব ভালো ম্যাচ হয়, মানে উনিও অ্যানালগ আর আপনিও।
মানে আমার মতো একটা মানুষকে একটা মেয়ে কেন পছন্দ করবে বলে?
কেমন বয়স হলে ভালো হয়? 18, 20, সমান একটু বেশি?
না
এই যে ছাত্রী আয়শা পড়ছে, আমার সুন্দরী শালিকা।
দেখেন, আমার আপনার মতো এরকম সুখী পরিবার পরিকল্পনা পছন্দ না। শোন, স্যালারিও ভালো, ইচ্ছা মতন খরচ করতে পারবি।
মানে আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে মিস লিলির মতো সাধারণ হলেই তো ভালো।